Hey guys, what's up? It's McNeil and Anna with another Q&A. I think we probably have 4 or 5 questions to go through today. So it's not going to be a 30-minute video, so hang in there with us and we're going to try to get through all of your questions. I think one's about OMVIC, license plates, whatever. Just a couple of questions. We'll get through it as quick and efficiently as we can.
Yes, efficient.
Let's get it.
Okay, first question here. This is about service plates. And this subscriber is saying, hey, a quick question about the letter that needs to be written from a company letterhead. If I'm a mechanic working at a shop, am I eligible to get a service plate even if I do not own the shop?
Okay, so your simple answer is no. You cannot have a service plate if you are a service technician. Okay, those service plates are for the owners of the shop, and that's why it's for the license shop. So when you apply for it with Service Ontario, it will be in a company name, not an individual name. So the shop you work at can get a service shop, but you as the service shop, I said, can have a service. The shop that you work at can apply for their service plate, is what I want to say. You as the employee have access to use the plate. Yeah, your employer can put you on the insurance to use the plate, but you personally cannot apply for it just because you work at a mechanic shop. It has to be owned by the owner of the shop.
Right.
Make sense? Moving on.
Okay, question 2. This is pertaining to OMVIC and completing the OMVIC dealer applications. How do you get your valid OMVIC number, second line at the top of the document, if this is the first step of the process of the top of the document? So with regards to step 1, I think when we were doing this video, we were saying how step 1 was to basically do your OMVIC certification course.
To George and Brown College.
The George and Brown College course, right? So, and they give you a student number, and then that student number, I think you put it on your individual application. But you're right, you wouldn't get an OMVIC number. Like, I think you're talking about your registration number. If you're a first-time applicant, you don't have a OMVIC registration number.
So nothing would go there, that's right.
Exactly. So, you're right, you would not have one.
Only
so you would not put one because you would say that you're a first-time applicant. But if you were, like you're saying, I think you're saying that.
Yeah, only if you're reapplying or the second time you already had a number in the system, that's why you put that there. But if it clearly says that you a first-time applicant, there will be no number there. When you go ahead and do your sales, call it a sales license, because technically once you pass your Georgian College, you can do the application to be a salesperson.
Right.
That would be the number you put your Georgian College application number, right? Or student number, I guess they would call it. But other than that, you wouldn't have a number, so it's fine. You don't have to put anything there.
Right. Hopefully that clarifies that question. Next question here. On the mechanical inspection side, it would be great if you did a video or part of a video on what is included in an Ontario safety certificate. What do you have to go through to get certified? What are the components of the vehicle that get inspected? So many people think safety certificate equals no issues. I think that's going to be a standalone video right now.
Yeah, and not only a standalone video, that will probably end up being a standalone series because safety inspection is very complicated. There's a lot of things mechanics have to check. And for example, I already did a video based on your recommendation here. It just hasn't been published yet, so stay tuned for that, about the cracked windshield. So can a car with a cracked windshield pass safety, and what are all the different areas it can pass and where it cannot pass, the size, the length. So even just on the windshields alone, it will take a maybe a 6-minute video explaining just that, right? What reasons why your tires would fail. There's so many different reasons. It's not just about the tread depth like people think, right? Maybe your headlights, your tail lights. There's so many different things you have to check. It might be multiple videos, but definitely it's a good idea, and we'll make content around that for you.
And I don't know, maybe just to add, like the comment about so many people think that safety certificates means no issues. That is true, but then I feel like between the safety certificate and in Ontario, the requirements that dealers are, like the disclosure requirements that by law dealers have to make, I feel like would cover sort of, because correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but things like powertrain and engine and transmission.
It's not part of the
That's
safety.
not part of
really.
the safety.
No.
However, those things are part of the used car bill of sale. So those types of disclosures would have to be disclosed on a bill of sale. Lots of gray area. So you're right. This is definitely.
But safety inspection doesn't necessarily mean that they buy in the car. So it may not be a bill of sale. They could have already bought the car privately, but take it to your shop for, just to get it certified now, right? So even if, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like they bought it from a dealer and then there's a bill of sale disclosure and then there is,
you're right. Sometimes
it's maybe
you
too different. You bought it privately and you get it certified because you need a safety to put it in your name now,
That's
right?
true. You're right.
So safety is very tricky and a lot of people come to the shop for true. And when you do the inspection, if it failed because they don't want to do some repairs on the car, they think they don't have to pay as well because they thought that they're paying for the paper. They think the paper is the inspection. So if they don't realize the initial fee that they pay is just to get the car looked at. You're paying to get your car inspected, a safety inspection. So you pay for the inspection, pass or fail, you'll have to pay the service shop to look at your car. And if your car fails, it's not just an immediate fail, get out of the shop. They'll give you a list of things that needs to be repaired, and if you repair those things, then it would pass, right? So it makes a difference.
Exactly. So we'll stay tuned for more videos about safety certification and all the.
What do you say? Coming soon in a subsequent broadcast.
Nobody watches TV anymore.
No, okay. We'll be back after this commercial break.
That sounds too TV-like.
We'll be back after this commercial break. Can't skip it.
Oh dear. Okay, next question.
You gotta hit read more.
You gotta hit read more. Okay, this is one of your very loyal subscribers, Neil. Okay, next question. Let's say I bought a salvage vehicle from auction, then fixed it up to all the specs. How do I turn that title or brand to a rebuild, or what's the process? Thank you.
Well, that's very easy. On the front side of the ownership says rebuilt, and then the back side says none. So you just flip it. Is it how do you turn the ownership? No. Okay.
So literal.
Why is it turn the ownership? Okay, so basically you'd have to take it to a third-party shop to get it inspected. We just spoke about safety inspections just 2 seconds ago, and that one is called a structural certificate. So mechanic shops issue safety inspections, body shops issues structural certificates. So if you did it at a licensed shop, most body shops right at that shop, because they fixed it, they should be able to issue you what they call a structural certificate. After you pass that structural certificate, you take that to the ministry, just like you'd bring your safety inspection there when you're trying to put the car into your name, and you give the ministry that structural certificate, and then the title will go from branded salvage to rebuilt at the ministry. They just need that paper to do that. Now, most shops don't have a lot of body shops, even some that I've used before, don't have the structural certificate license, like they can't issue it, but they would fix the car for you. You have to take a picture of the damage before. You have to take pictures of the car on the frame machine where it's being pulled and worked on. And wherever you bought the car, they would give you a paperwork from the insurance company showing all the damages that the car had and what the recommended repairs were. And then the receipts from the body shop of all the parts that you bought. That package would go to the shop, because since they're not the one fixing it, that's the evidence of what you actually bought to fix. So it's kind of like a whole file. Is that clear?
As you're saying,
Can you clarify some things?
So it sounds like in order to get
the structural certificate passed,
structural certificate,
you got to prove it.
Number one, you need to find a body shop that is that can actually issue.
That's right.
Because you're saying that some body shops don't have the ability to do that. Like
That's
they're
right.
not licensed.
So it's kind of like
not licensed, but maybe they're not.
They just don't. They doesn't pay for the certification. It's kind of like so they're. Just so we don't lose you here, there are some mechanic shops, for example, that would do all kinds of mechanical work, but for some reason they did not register their shop with MTO, so they cannot issue safety inspections. It doesn't mean that they don't have licensed mechanics working it, so I don't want to knock them and say they don't have licensed technicians. They just for some reason don't take the responsibility of signing safety inspections.
Right.
The same way there is some body shops who are capable of fixing the cars, and you may be able to get the car fixed cheaper there because they know that they can't issue a structural certificate. I'm just saying in that case, there is more paperwork that you have to keep track of. Wherever you bought a salvage car, when a car is salvaged, there's a report that comes in from the insurance company that you should have. It literally would state the initial estimate of repair, how much it would cost to fix that car, all the things that are damaged. You need that paperwork. And then you need receipts of all the parts that you bought to prove that you actually fix the car properly. And then they need a picture of the car on the frame machine. Okay, and then these pictures, you take it to the shop where they do structural certificates with the car. They're gonna do some measurements and they're gonna go through your paperwork and they'll issue you a structural certificate. It sounds complicated, but it's much easier because as long as the body shop that's fixing the car, you let them know ahead of time before they remove the old bumper. You let them know ahead of time that that car is salvaged. They know that you're gonna have to go for the rebuild title process. So they will know to take a picture of the car on the frame machine, and most likely they themselves may know a shop that they already work with that can help them get the structural certificate for you, okay? But the whole summary of all this blah, 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 if we talk too much here, is that you'll need something called a structural certificate, and then you can flip the car.
So when you get the structural certificate, you present that to Service Ontario.
That's correct.
When you're ready to change the ownership. All right, okay. Makes sense. Good?
Yes.
Okay, carry on. Next question. Neil, this one, how much should a brake job cost you? That was a great video you did. That was a long time ago. That was one of the originals. I was quoted $600 for 2 front brakes and rotors. Is that high?
Yeah.
You said sounds high. $600 to basically replace.
Yeah.
2
That sounds kind of high to me, but then that's with a however an explanation, okay? Because on the high end, let's say the shop, because if you watch that video, if you haven't watched it yet, you can definitely check that out, how shops price out brake jobs, okay? So that's the video that he's commenting on here, okay? Normally a shop charge about 2 hours to replace your pad and rotor if we're talking about just the front. Let's now say the shop charges $99 to $100 for easy math for the front end brake job. That's only $200 in labor. So that means they're charging you here about $400 in parts. That's excessive, because even if you were to buy some sort of economic pad and rotor, most cars you'll pay anywhere from $150 to $200. Okay, so that takes you up to $400. Again, if it is more of a high-end parts, maybe it could cost you up to $600. Now, why I'm saying, however, you didn't give me enough information. I don't know what kind of car it is. If this is a Mercedes, European, Audi, whatever the case may be, then yes, 100%, that is actually pretty good, because European parts a lot more money, right? If you're doing that here in Ontario and they're gonna charge you 13% taxes, is that price including taxes? So there's so many factors that you left out there, but on the surface, if it is just like $600 plus taxes and you're driving a normal Honda, Toyota, Japanese car, that is expensive, because even if it is a premium part, I can get a premium part for most Japanese cars and get you a brake job for, let's say, $500, right? So I think we need more information to let you know if that's a fair price or not. So you can always let us know in the comment section here below, maybe the make and model of your car, if you want me to elaborate a little more, or give you better advice on the pricing. I'll need to know the year, make, model of your vehicle, and it was that price including taxes and that kind of stuff, okay? But if it is just flat out a normal car and not including taxes,
like if that was a Honda Civic,
exactly, that's a lot of money, right? That's what I mean.
Okay, next question. What about insurance on a car when you buy it for flipping but don't have an OMVIC license?
Buying a car for flipping?
Well, in general, like just if you're... That's like a contradiction. I get... Okay, so the right answer
is you're a curbsider and you shouldn't be doing it.
I know.
Just full disclosure, right? Remember, OMVIC could be watching. But no, so basically, obviously, if you're buying a car for flipping and you don't have a license, you're not going to get the car insured. There's no way to insure the car, because that's considered curbsiding, okay? Now, let's say that you bought yourself a personal car and you plan on driving that car, and then you put a regular blue and white plate on the car, you can get normal insurance on the vehicle. Now, even if you drive the car for a month and then you decide that you don't like the car anymore and you choose to put it up for sale, you're not curbsiding, you're selling your personal car and you have insurance on the car until it sells. Then when you buy yourself a second car, then you do the same process where you have to plate the car and put insurance on it and you drive it until you don't like it anymore.
Yes.
Got it?
That's right.
Yeah. But if you just buy to sell it,
right. If you're
no plates on it, you cannot get insurance on it, right? It's considered curbsiding. But there is ways to sell your personal car, okay? Got it?
Right. So you bought the car for personal use.
Right.
And then you didn't like it, so then you sold it. That's what I'm hearing about this.
Yes.
Good.
Exactly what I heard.
That's what I heard. Okay. Okay, well I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
This was just the right amount. So if we have to do 5 or so questions on the weekend, at least the Q&A wouldn't surpass 20 minutes. We can keep it like 15, 16 minutes. That'd be more than enough. Yeah. So hopefully we don't let the Q&A, the questions pile up too much that it takes way too long. But anyway, like I say, don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section below, because that gives us great ideas of what content to make for you, which we have some content coming down the pipeline based on your suggestions here. And we can do the Q&As like this for you on a weekly basis, okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.